Good morning. I'm going with the fried potato this morning. Welcome back to Morning Coffee with Father Dad. So St. Faustina, since she was little, she had very deep prayer with the Lord. Her mom and dad would recall sometime, even as a child, late into the night, she would wake up praying. Her mom would say, "Helena, go to sleep or you're gonna go crazy tomorrow." She would say, "No, must be the guardian angel that wake me up to pray." And even as a child, she felt, even though she couldn't understand the life of the convent, she felt God was calling her to something different, to dedicate her life to God. When she received First Communion at the age of 9, her mother recalled she would, on the day of First Communion, before heading to church, she would go to her mom and dad, ask for their hands as a beautiful Polish tradition, kiss their hands and say, "Mom and Dad, please forgive me for any wrong I have done to you." And she goes to church, get her First Communion. And from that day on, she went to confession every week. And she would do that to her mom and dad every time she goes to confession. She continued to feel God's call. One day she told her mom and dad that she wants to go and join the convent. But her mom and dad didn't want to lose their daughter. So they said no. And her dad used the excuse, "We can't afford to pay for the habit, the vestment of the nun. Plus, we're not able to support you." So she was very sad. So for a while, she kept feeling this call. But because her parents disapproved of it, she began to think maybe it's not for her. One day, she was 17 years old. She went to a dance with her sisters. And there she was dancing. As she was dancing, Jesus appeared to her, covered with wounds, looking at her and said, "How much longer are you going to make me suffer and wait for you?" She was so moved. She quietly snuck out of the party, ran to the cathedral church nearest there, and she went before the tabernacle, before the Blessed Sacrament. She prostrate, lie down on the floor and said, "Jesus, what would you like for me to do?" And Jesus told her, "Go to Warsaw." So the very next morning, 17 years old Helena got on a train and go to Warsaw. Imagine, you'd be like a country girl living in Fulshear, take a train and go to New York, to this big city where she knew nobody. The next morning, she goes to the first church that she saw. And there, as she go to Mass, she hears Jesus' voice telling her in your heart, "Talk to that priest." She went over, explained it to the priest. The priest wrote a little note and sent her to a parishioners. And there she stayed with that lady, serving as a maid, while going every day in this big city of Warsaw, knocking on the doors of different convents. And they all said no to her. One, because of her education, she was only up to 3rd grade due to the war. 2, because she looked like a simple peasant girl. Until one day, she knocked on the door of the congregation of the Mother of Mercy. Mother Superior said to her, "You go to that chapel and ask the Lord of this house, 'Do you accept me?'" So she went. She went to the chapel. She asked, "Lord Jesus, Lord of this house, do you accept me in this community?" Jesus said, yes, I do accept you. So she went to Mother and said to Mother what she heard, and Mother accepted her. Although it took her another year to work to save up money, she finally joined the convent. And on that day, she was so happy. She said, I was filled with immense joy, and I was in paradise. Wow, how beautiful is God's call. Thank you for being with me today. I hope you have a good day and looking forward to be with you tomorrow. I love God.